Good evening, everyone. James from Mind Body Detox. I hope you are well this evening. Okay, I just wanted to jump on with my thought processes, which, to be perfectly honest, I've been sitting on for some time, but especially in the last few weeks with regards to isolation. So how can we truly help our NHS, these incredibly brave workers? So instead of us we can do it as well as, but instead of us just clapping them for that minute of token of appreciation, how can we really help them in a much longer term? And that's what I want to share with you this evening. So, as I alluded to, the incredibly brave workers, underpaid workers, and up until recently, they were deemed, especially carers, were deemed as low-skilled workers. So how can we help the NHS? Especially before these circumstances arose, they were in billions of debt. I think 2018-19 reports was about £14 billion in debt. So let's think about, what is one of the largest costs to the NHS? If it's not the largest, it's definitely one of the largest. I think it is the largest. It's obesity. So let me share a couple of stats when I was doing a little bit of research earlier, and I think you'll be absolutely flabbergasted by some of the stats that I'm going to share with you. And hopefully this brings this to people's kind of forefront of their mind. So the NHS attribute to people being overweight or obese, the projected scale in 3 decades to 2050 is going to be nearly £10 billion to the UK, with a wider cost to society of almost £50 billion per year. That's number one. Number two, the NHS spend on obesity-related diseases over £5 billion per year. So let me share with you what that is actually equivalent to. That's equivalent to 163 of our nurses' salaries. That's equivalent to 85,000 hospital doctors, okay? That's more than 115,000 heart transplants and nearly 1,000 fully kitted out new air ambulances. I could go on, but hopefully that information has brought that to the forefront of your mind. Now, please don't think that I'm belittling anyone that struggles with their weight. You know, we work extensively and continue to work with many clients that are overweight and obese, and pardon the pun, but that's our bread and butter of work, creating significant shifts in people's minds and bodies. Now, according to latest stats, I think it's 63% of the UK public are classified as being overweight. Now, once again, I don't want to disparage any conditions, as often with people being overweight, it stems from a multitude of reasons, but a few of them might be obviously ingrained poor habits. They might have been bullied when they were younger or continued being bullied, and somebody just kept digging at them. There could be some poor choices they made from childhood, again, that's been ingrained. There is a multitude of reasons why people become overweight. Now, of course, there are mitigating circumstances to all of this, of people being overweight. That is, that somebody might be mentally unwell, somebody's disabled, thyroid issues, genetic issues, which obviously all of those kind of things make it far more challenging to shift weight. When we're working with clients, we drill down on some real difficult questions for them to ask, because you want to get to the bottom of what their issues are, not just be fancy around it, not just skim the actual questions they need to do. So how about as a nation, we think about how we're fueling our bodies every damn day, not just for a few days and then go back off of it again. So let me just share a few things that you can implement yourself. Now, you could look at reducing your portion sizes. You could stop watching endless television, which creates boredom, and you're much more inclined to eat. So think about it. You go to the cinema, you have a massive box of popcorn. You wouldn't normally do that at home if you were sitting or you were working, but it's that mindless eating. Try and create some structure, especially at this present time. Some people don't even know what bloody day it is, because they're almost like, you know, it's like when it's Christmas Day, when you've got things like, you know, you don't know where Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, all the days in between, but you're actually enjoying those. At this present moment, most people have lost that ability to understand where they're at. Look at analysing what are your trigger foods, what makes you go and have those certain foods. Now, there are many other reasons why, but I don't want to overwhelm you, but just giving you a couple of things. And another thing, you know, I've seen a lot of people doing more exercise now. They've kind of embraced that. Absolutely love that. Can't endorse that enough. But if you're still continuing in a gross format, looking and you're actually eating more than what you're burning off, your weight is only going to go one way. You're not even going to maintain. You're going to consider to keep putting that on. And I want to get across to you that this isn't a dig at anyone. Please don't see this as a dig, but hopefully people as individuals and collectively as a nation, we need to take ownership of this. All those stats that I shared with you about actually where that money could be going to instead, surely we must take that on board and do something. Now, there's around 1.2 million members of the NHS staff, okay? 300,000 of those are obese and 400,000 of them are overweight. So at least half the workforce are overweight. They need guidance themselves. They work exceptionally long hours. They're in an exceptionally stressful environment. So, and they struggle to make good food choices. So, and don't even get me started on hospital food options. The amount of people that have been in hospital that have reached out to us and said, do you know what? I am disgusted with what we've been fed. And look at those blimmin' vending machines, but that's another video. We've covered that plenty of times. So what I want to share out to here tonight is, if there's any NHS staff watching this video, or if you're sharing this video, which I'd greatly appreciate, and you've got a friend or a family or a loved one that works for the NHS, please send them to the Mind Body Miracle page. We have literally pumped into there hundreds, if not thousands, of video content that's completely free to encourage people on many aspects of all health. I'd love to put as many NHS staff in there to encourage them about how to look after themselves truly for themselves. And there's going to be other things that they can do for them. That I just want to give as much as we can to these amazing people that are giving up so much to us. So let me just finish up by saying, let's really take time to reflect. As I said on our live on Sunday, let's take this time to reflect and look at how we are fueling our bodies on a daily basis. Thank you for all those that have joined. There's been hundreds of you that have joined, which is absolutely awesome. Thank you very much. I hope this has helped someone. Please share this with people. I can see there's loads of questions coming up and I'll cover them a little bit later, guys. But enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening. Take care.